Hello, friends from the manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the September 2025 new releases for manga. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House. So the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell internationally. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at Period International Comics, where we'll post some news and updates on those channels, which is linked down below in the description. So, the way we do this, in case you weren't aware, we start off with our picks. We head into volume ones and one shots, and then we leave you with the rest of the list with continuing volumes that you don't want to miss out on. So definitely stick around for all of that. So we'll go ahead and get started on our picks. And first up is mine. I will mention that if you see any of these titles mentioned before previously in one of our other videos, it could be that changes were made, on sale dates were pushed back, you know, natural, normal things that typically happen. You may see these titles repeated, so just letting you know. So first up, we have Breathless Time Traveler. I know it's manga, but this is a novel. We should look into it too, because we love novels here too.
Yeah.
It's we have this character Rara who is addicted to social media, and oddly enough, I idolizes Ariana Grande. In other words, she's basically your typical modern college girl, or she was anyway until this tragic accident cuts her life short, unfortunately. But forget heaven or hell. Rara now finds herself stuck in this time loop, repeating her life up until the tragic day. So she has another chance at her youth and love with her boyfriend Kengo. But as time loops over and over, Rara finds herself scrambling to pull together the threads of her life. But can Rara prevent her death and create a world where she and Kengo can have a future together, or is she destined to repeat the past forever? Which I love time travels, though this is something that I can get into, and this is going on sale again September.
Yes. Yes. Now for something very different is the Human Eradicator Volume 1 by Jassim Mohanadi. This is the dystopian city of Pluton. There's this man called, just known as the Human Eradicator, and he emerges as the symbol of retaliation. He is hunted by the loss of his beloved daughter, who fell victim to terrifying humanoid flesh eating monsters that plague the city. And the human eradicator dedicates his life to eradicating, obviously, these abominations from existence. It's sort of like Terminator meets the Exterminator meets. It just feels like a very 80s, early 90s action sci-fi movie kind of thing. And I must talk about the creator, Jassim Al Mohandani. By the way, also I should have mentioned that Alex Irsaki is the illustrator. But Jassim Al Mohandani is a Qatari comic writer, and his bio is very interested. He fell in love uh, reading Nor- Fist of the North Star, which this kind of story kind of gives you vibes of that. And with that fascination, he started studying not just writing and writing scripts, but also writing for manga and taking classes online and all that. And then he wrote a few stories, and they became really big, not just in his home of Qatar, but also around the Middle East, but also in Japan. He has become very, very big. And now we have this story coming from from Tokyo Pop, sorry, from him and translated into English. And very interesting because, coming not just because it's a non-Japanese person writing a manga, and it, from the reviews, it feels like the Japanese do love his style of writing, but also this story in particular um, because like I said, it feels like Fist of the North Star and that kind of sort of 80s 90s action with a big burly guy just fighting monsters, which is amazing. So I'm really excited about this one. I can't wait to read this one for sure. There you go.
Next up, we have Go For It Nakamura-kun Volume 1. This is a new edition re-release. And why? There's a reason, because of the anime that you need to
Yeah,
watch when it comes out. So this one, we have Nakamura, who is shy, painfully awkward, who has fallen in love at first sight with his dreamy boy classmate. And there is a problem though, because they haven't actually met. And so at least in Nakamura's eyes, maybe that's for the best because of his awkwardness. He's a total klutz. He could totally bungle things up before they even begin, so he's quite nervous about making that jump and finally approaching the Dream Boy. But when he finally gets a chance to speak one-to-one with his crush, will his worries actually cease, or will he make this huge mess? And if you haven't seen, you've probably seen, I think we played the trailer before
think
previously
so.
when it released, first released. It is adorable. Like, and
Hmm.
if you don't remember, watch it again because it's really
Yeah.
adorable. So it's a very endearing BL comedy about the trials of high school first love and very, very hilarious attempts at clinging on to some semblance of happiness. So, yes, coming out, of course, all of this September.
Yes. And continuing with Mechanical Body Universe by Takuji Kato. This is a collection of heartwarming sci-fi stories that went viral, and like I said, that took the took social media by storm when they came out originally. Now translated into English, and then they follow an android that has completed her original mission, and in the middle in a dystopian future, obviously she finds this abandoned baby and decides to raise the baby. And of course, it's not just that. There's going to be a lot of it's not going to be easy in a dystopian world, but also for a mechanical android just who's also being hunted and followed by other people. So, very cool premise. Like I said, this is a collection of short stories, and originally when they came out, I think it was Shonen Jump, and they became viral, and then they were collected and now collected in English for the first time here. But also, I want to mention that in January of next year, it has already been announced that they will also translate. We'll also get a translation of Mechanical Body Universe 1.0 Volume 1, which is sort of a continuation of the story, continuation within that universe, but also with the baby now being a teenager and a sniper. So I'm really excited about that too. This is all from Square Enix. I should mention this was all announced in with a lot of other titles that some of them you're gonna see in this month too, that were announced in NYCC in New York Comic Con last year in their panel. Um, I love that Square Enix is bringing these very cool, very sort of different titles from what we're getting from our other manga publishers. And can't wait for this one. This is right up my alley. This sci-fi, sort of very dystopian sci-fi with drama, a very different drama in it too. There you
Mhm.
go. Hmm.
And moving on from that, we have something different.
Yes.
Romantic comedy. uh, Once upon a time, there was a princess and a knight who loved each other a lot, but they never tied the knot, and then they vowed in their next life, uh, they'll do it. But Bartholomew, the knight, has been reborn as a high school student named Haruto, and spent his whole life searching for Princess Claudia, but he finds out that his princess is now a 50-something high school vice principal and a father. But this knight loves his princess in any form. So we have Claudia, who is now self-conscious about being a middle-aged man with a dad bod and how others might perceive their relationship with a younger man. And so the princess isn't ready to accept Bartholomew's feelings yet, but can the young knight win over his fated love? And you can see the cover is great. I love it.
Excellent. Very, very cool. And we continue for something for that is for everybody, not just for kids and not just for adults, but everybody can enjoy this one. This is Sheeta's Little Big World, #1 by Yuki Kamba. This is coming from Kodansha, and charming new adventure manga, like I said, for young and old. And uh, this follows the story of Sheeta, who lives in a town inside a hollow out log, and his neighbors are friendly, supportive, and above all, careful. But soon, Sheeta's longing to explore is going to bring him face to face with dangers like he never imagined. In fact, Sheeta's friends decides to investigate some smoke in the distance outside of the log, and doesn't come back. So Sheeta has to, summon all his courage and wits to set off and pursue of where Nala is, and confront rats, ants, weasels, giants, and just a huge world, literally, for him of dangers. So this is very, it's been compared to like the borrowers or basically anything by Studio Ghibli. Uh, Also mentions like Treasure Island and other ones, but it's a very cool fantasy. Like I said, sort of it's something that kids can enjoy, but I also think that also adults like myself can enjoy a lot. The world building on this sounds very cool, and yeah, it's Thumbelina, anything like that. I grew up with Thumbelina and all these other classic stories, so anything, or if you want to do a little bit more 80s kids kind of thing, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is amazing. If you haven't watched it, G, you need to watch that. So there you go. This one I got has me really excited. It's another one that I think is very different from what we usually get, and I don't think we get enough mangas that are this style that are apt for both children and adult can enjoy it very well. So there you go.
All right, continuing on with volume one and one shots, we have Boyfriend, Sometimes Girlfriend, volume one. We have Akizuki Hotaka, a high school student who has just turned 17, meets and falls in love with the school's Madonna, Shizato. And Hotaka was prepared to have his heart broken, but Shizato agreed to become lovers. However, Shizato has a secret that Hotaka can't imagine. Love changes everything for a boy. We have Bride and the Death God, Volume 1. This is the story of a death god who was welcomed for the first time, and a young um, woman no longer welcome in her own world. So it's a tale of love that death cannot part. We have copper coins. We have the regular edition and the special edition, both in trade paperback. So this is a historical fantasy danmei, boys love. A monk with amnesia and two raggedy paper dolls inhabited by a dragon and a ghost embark on a journey to reclaim their former glory. But can they endure each other long enough to find what they seek? And so the special edition will include the three postcards, a paper folding screen, a sticker sheet, bookmark, so really cool. If you've ever seen Seven Seas well, you should have if you picked it up. They do these really nice special editions with some
Hmm.
inclusions that are fun to get.
Yes. And we continue with volume ones and one shots, and we have Do You Really Want Only a Meal? Volume one. Masamune reluctantly tries a housekeeping service at his section chief's suggestion. Enter Natsuki, who boldly confesses his feelings. Masamune hesitates due to their age difference and the potential complications of dating his superior's son. Masamune must decide whether to embrace this unexpected chance at love or let it slip away. And then another one that was Square Enix that was announced last year in New York Comic Cons, Dragon Quest: The Mark of Erdrick, number one. Adventure draws near. Join Prince Ares in his fight against Lord Imagine 100 years after the events of the iconic Dragon Quest III video game. So yes, it is sort of based or a spin-off of the Dragon Quest III video game. And another one that I remember a lot of people talking about when the announcement came out, Dur Ranki, available in English for the first time, comes an original story produced by Kentaro Miura, creator of Berserk. Yes, that Berserk, a fantasy manga inspired by Greek and Mesopotamian myths and illustrated by Miura personal manga studio, Berserk Studio Gaga. And last on this slide, Eternal Covenant Volume 1, a sweeping fantasy full of magic, political intrigue, and spicy romance. As you can tell by the cover, it's very spicy. The first volume of the popular webtoon for fans of epic fantasy, spicy romances, and of the author's previous webtoon, The Sweetest Man.
All right, continuing on, we have Fox and Puppy. We have
Mhm.
Achiro, known as Achan, is the new editor assigned to work with his idol, the novelist Akihiko. When Achichan finds Akihiko naked in bed with another man, ooh, scandalous. Akihiko offers to sleep with Achiro, but Achan's feeling for him run deeper than he realizes. We mentioned this before when it was first announced, so really excited to show you again. We have Godzilla minus one. This is from the director of the hit film of the same name, which is a novelization packed with action and story to celebrate Godzilla's 70th anniversary. So this is post-war Japan. The kaiju of legend has become even more powerful and fearsome. Can a country in shambles withstand the might of Godzilla? We have the handsome cat boy wants to be his pet. A college student finds himself in a catastrophe when he comes across a cat boy who won't leave him alone. And then we have his sensual whisper, the voice that sets me on fire, volume one. A woman who can be driven wild by a sultry whisper finds a man who can make her melt in this steamship manga.
Amazing. And then we continue with I'm running for Crown Princess, but all I want is a steady paycheck. Manga Volume 1. One woman is out to get a much needed payday by competing to be the next Crown Princess, but she'll find the competition is fiercer than she could have ever imagined. After that, we have In Love's Key reprised. Sweet Home's Hokkaido wins over a conductor for whom home is anything but sweet. And then this is another one. I almost picked this one, I gotta confess. Kaiju Kamui Volume 1, fighting kaiju with kaiju. To take down the ferocious monsters attacking Japan, one pilot takes a chance on a secret weapon in this action manga. So for fans of Kaiju 8 and Godzilla and all that fun stuff, that's right up your alley. And then we have Let Me See the Real You, Senpai. Yeah, he's trying to show his real self, I guess, in that cover. A shy shut in who masquerades as a wildly popular VTuber online collabs with a newbie who quickly becomes his friend and maybe something more. Boys Love manga about VTubers from the creator of Punk's Triangle, also available from Seven Seas.
All right. The Love We Share. This is Machi, a single father who finds himself and his daughter in desperate straits without a job or a place to call home, only to be taken in by his former classmate Mihiro. And together, Machi and Mihiro navigate their new life. So this is a beautiful found family take on um, the new meaning of found family, I should say, in the sweet and tender love story. We have Magic Maker, How to Create Magic in Another World, Volume 1. One man's desire for magic sends him to a world where magic could be possible. While he realized his dream, or spend another life chasing after it is the question. The fantasy manga series is inspired by the light novels, which you can also get from Seven Seas, and you don't want to miss out on the anime as
The
well.
anime, which is out and it's amazing, by the way, and I love it, and I'm really excited about this one coming out. Anyway,
Mhm. Makina-san's Love Bot? Question! Exclamation point. Volume 1. One boy discovers his school's idol is actually a robot, and she's created
hmm
for one intimate purpose. I wonder what that is.
yeah,
Um, is this his chance at romance, or will he be too caught up in keeping her identity a secret? This is a brand new romantic comedy manga presented in full color. Don't miss out on the anime for this one.
which
And
is
I've talked
playing right now, streaming right now, the season. Yeah,
yeah, and I've talked about this next one for New York Review Comics, but it's here as well for on sale September. We have a young woman who rejects the fast-paced consumer culture of the 1980s Japan in favor for a slower, more carefree lifestyle in this tender-hearted, sweetly funny. This is a classic slice of life manga.
great. And then we continue with Painter of the Night, Volume 1, a dark romance about a painter who refuses to paint and a nobleman who will do anything to make him. The full color boys love webtoon manhwa sensation finally makes its way to English print. After that, we have Real Time Fever. Shy college student Shizuka moonlights as Shiro online, broadcasting erotic content to his followers. One night, he forgets to end his stream and accidentally masturbates to an audience of one. Kurosaki, his classmate and Mr. Popular. Now that Kurosaki knows his identity, just how far will Shizuka go to make sure his secret identity stays secret? And then we have Rebel Hero. I will use my skills to control the scheming princess' heart and body. Manga Volume 1. A man appears in a world where heroes are detested and must use his skills and body to stay alive in this mature rated isekai manga.
All right, and continuing on, we have Roses and Champagne Volume 1. This is a hit BL crime drama manhwa in full color and finally available in print in English for this popular Korean novel series. We have Star and Hedgehog at Summer's End. We have Ikumi and Harikyo who embark on their first long-distance relationship. Once reunited, they stumble together through the early stages of their newfound romance, tripping over the stark differences in their personalities. So, can a blossoming love between the shining star and a prickly hedgehog go the distance? We have Wakaba Won't Give Up, Volume 1. We have a tomboy who's determined to win the heart of her childhood best friend, but will it take more than a makeover to win him over? So that's it for volume ones and one shots. Uh, we'll leave you with the rest of the list. So definitely stay tuned and check that out. But we'll be exiting out of the screen. Thank you all for watching. We do this all the time. So definitely check us out and our videos on our channel here. And that's it for today. Bye, everyone.
Bye.